We all have our own cancer stories. Like everyone knows someone who's experienced the disease. And mine was really with my great grandpa. And I think I just realized that I was so tired of it being in the doctor's hands. Like I wanted to be able to do something to help him. And I felt like it was so out of my control. But when I learned about this connection between epigenetics and food, it really changed the way that I thought about how we develop chronic disease. Because the truth is, the way that our health system is set up in America is we are made to, when we get sick, just stay a little bit better, but we stay sick. We never really get better. And they don't want us healthy, but they also don't want us to die. So it's this weird in between. And we're not focused on prevention at all, which whatever cure you could ever fathom for a chronic disease is like, it's never going to be as impactful as just preventing the disease from ever happening in the first place. So I'm focusing a lot on prevention because it's just so powerful. And yeah, that really excited me, that I felt like I could genuinely make an impact in other people's lives.
Yeah, I remember during COVID, they gave people donuts to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. No, there's
No, go ahead. Yeah.
corruption in our system. Yeah, I just have some crazy, like, just from like literally Googling, you can find some crazy things, like how the Sugar Association basically bribed Harvard researchers in the 1950s to blame fat and cholesterol as the primary cause of heart disease. But it's literally, so yeah, they said that, but it's still the number one cause of death in the US. So it's like they do these things and you're like, why are you really shifting the blame to that? And then you look and you see it's because they're trying to say that sugar was okay back then. And now we all know that sugar is bad, and it seems kind of like an obvious thing, but it's just, there's a lot of these guidelines that were posted that have shaped American health today. The American Cancer Society accepted like a 1.9 million donation from Coca-Cola when obesity is a huge risk factor for cancer, and sugar leads to obesity. So there's just a lot of really questionable things. Even the most recent US dietary guideline, which I'm sure you've seen on Twitter, but it's where they put like Fruit Loops above eggs and stuff. And you're like, what is this? 95% of the members on that committee had conflict of interest, and 60% of that conflict of interest was research funding. So it's like, what kind of research are we really getting if it's being funded by people who want a specific answer? We're not going to be getting stuff that's genuinely going to help our health if this is what like the basis is. So,
and how do we change that? Yeah,
so I think that the best way to change that is to just take matters into our own hands. This kind of brings me to my mission, really, which is to flatten the cancer curve. And I think that the best way to do this is to target Gen Z, because they are kind of our future. Like, they're our future innovators, our future singers, artists, whatever it is. And the best way to start by avoiding cancer is to just cut down ultra processed foods. You'll see all of these different people that are like, you need to do the carnivore diet, the ketogenic diet, and those are all great. But if you just start like with the basics, it's, you have to stop eating stuff that just comes from a package, because 60% of the average American's daily caloric intake comes from this stuff. It's ultra processed food. And what's in that is seed oils, refined grains, refined sugars, all of these things that cause inflammation. And not only do these increase cancer risk, but they increase risk for other chronic diseases, which also can increase cancer risk. Because like if you have type 2 diabetes, you also have increased cancer risk. They're all connected because they have the same root cause, which is this inflammation that is just causing these diseases to develop. So I think targeting that and getting my generation to really just cut out eating this food would have such a major impact.